Welcome back to another episode of Men Behind the Mitts, guys. We got some big changes, definitely some surprises for you on this pod. Can't wait for you guys to watch this one. We do an awesome breakdown on some beer league game that we had the other night. We do a great breakdown on the Caps, and we do a deep dive into the NHL, guys. Catch you up on what's going on. We've got some teams that are making some moves, and let me tell you, this postseason is definitely shaping up. All that and more. Let's get into it. Welcome to episode 89 from Men Behind the Mitts, guys. As you can tell, we have done some updating. Silk is in the house. We have a little studio. We couldn't be more excited. We haven't done a podcast in the same room with each other in almost a year and a half. Well, 89. Well, not 89 episodes, but from like episode 20.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Yeah. It's really exciting. Not only are we back in the room together, we kind of have the studio going on. We're going to be doing some updates and stuff. We're real excited. We've got this up and running for this episode. Cannot be more ecstatic, man, to be in the room. Silk's back. We've got a lot to update you on as far as the podcast, life updates. We're going to go over some cap stuff, and then we're going to jump into some NHL stuff. But man, it's great to be back. We missed last week. We were trying to get everything set up last week, but we're here this week. And dude, we just keep evolving. The pod just keeps evolving. We keep moving forward. We're going to do it, bro. We're doing it.
We are doing it. I'm excited to be here. It just brings a whole new level.
Yeah.
To Men Behind the Mitts.
Yeah. We're back together. It's so nice. Back in the day, before we were just audio in the beginning, sitting in a garage with no heat or air conditioning in the middle of summer, just sweating.
Yeah,
and talking
we almost
to
got
each
half
other.
Naked in the garage,
yeah,
just sitting there in our boxers.
So I was gonna say the only thing I'm upset about you being here is I have to put pants on. So usually I'm just in a shirt and my underwear. I'm like, yes, this is perfect. But now I got some pants on, but happy to be here. Can't be more ecstatic to be in the same room. It's crazy to think. We talk about all the time of like the evolution and how we're constantly growing and moving forward with the pod, man.
Mm-hmm.
This was one of our goals for a long time. One of our goals was just audio. Then we got the video, and then we were like, we wanted a studio one day. I wouldn't call this a studio, but this is a fucking studio, bud.
It's a big step up to us just putting a microphone and a camera in front of us and just recording, right?
Absolutely, man. And I'm ecstatic. Like I'm like shaking. I'm so excited. I can't stop smiling.
Yeah, I can't stop smiling.
This is so great. Like this is going to take the pod to the next level.
Yeah.
Hopefully but in the future we're working on adding multiple cameras and stuff like that, so you guys can really swim in our facial expressions. And when we crack up, it's just going to be the next level, man. And it's super exciting that we're here. This is what happens when you have a team like this and you have goals, and we both have full-time jobs, families, all this stuff going on, and we've always made Men Behind the Mitts a priority, and this is the fruits of the labor.
Yeah,
what I mean?
Evolution doesn't happen overnight, and this is just a testament to our consistency. No matter what, we went a long time without missing an episode.
Yeah.
This year we've had a couple hiccups, but they were due. It was, it happens. But the fact that not only do we bounce back, but we bounce back and take a step forward.
Bounce back. We sprung forward,
bro.
We sprung
forward. Yeah.
Just like daylight savings, we're springing forward. But it's a beautiful thing, man. I can't be happier. I'm excited for you guys to now get to see the real duo and the chemistry. Like it's, Zoom is great. We made it work and it was good, but I feel like there's always a little bit lost.
Yeah.
When you're in a different room and stuff like that, and to have us in the same room, I mean, it feels so right.
Yeah, we're a killer duo. You should see us
It
live.
feels so right. Just setting this up, man. We were just all the practice runs and trials to make sure
Yeah.
everything, getting the light dialed in and everything.
And it wasn't perfect, but like it's crazy how just like it fell into place.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we need this. We'll do this. And
Yeah.
oh, we need this. Well, we'll do this. And
Yeah.
boom, here we are.
And here we are.
And you guys get to see us again together. First time ever.
Yeah. First time. Oh my
Visual.
God.
This is the first time ever visually
Oh,
they've
we
got us
just-
together.
We just popped that cherry.
Papa!
First time together on video. Oh, it's so exciting.
It's a blessing. It's a blessing.
This is the best, bro. I'm so excited to be here. So excited to get back on track with the pod. Where do we even go from here? Like, I know we've got the sky's the limit. That's all I know. The sky's the limit. And, thanks to you guys as well, always, viewing and hitting the like button and stuff like that, sharing. It's a big help. Without that, we wouldn't have the growth that we've had. And you know what, man? It's been a steady climb. Getting the alerts of how many downloads we've had, and then checking the YouTube counter and watching the views progressively go up and stuff like that. It's a good feeling. We enjoy doing it. You know what I mean? Like that's the most fun. Is I'm not anywhere near tired of doing this. You know what I mean? Like it's not like that. I still look forward.
It's not a burden on either one of us.
Exactly. I still look forward to doing this, and now that we can do it together, we have this. Now that we have a space where we can make this happen, it feels so good. And then taking the TikTok to the next level. By the way, TikTok, Men Behind the Myths, make sure you're on there. We're going to be getting some videos now that we're back in the same state, back in the DMV, and
the content's coming, folks.
Yeah, we got some tournaments lined up.
Summertime, Coronas, the boys together. Yeah, content's coming.
It's going to be a good time. I can't wait. I'm really happy that we're able to do this. And speaking of which, you moved back. You were in Buffalo.
I was in Buffalo, New York, for a couple years. Doing some things. But the move back was good.
Yeah.
It's just I'm one of those people that like to look at everything on a positive side.
Absolutely.
And so for me, so many more pros came from moving back. Obviously, I love the Buffalo, New York area. Shout out to everybody I met up there. We're a great hockey community. Seriously, if you want to go somewhere where hockey is anywhere and everywhere, Buffalo's a great place. But to be back home with the boys,
yeah, man,
it just feels right, and it allows us to do things like this.
Yeah, and excited. Where we used to have an old beer league team. We're reassembling that beer league team, getting it back together. We had a game. I had a game last night. And as I'm in the penalty box, Rob and Dee came in, and I'm like, hey man, between us, we're starting a fucking team again. They're like, yes, you know what I mean? So getting the boys back, getting everyone excited back. But I do want to jump into this beer league game last night.
Yeah, hands
down. I haven't told you this. I was literally waiting for this, to as I knew I was going to see you today, to tell you about this story. Beer league game, you guys. I'm at a point in my life. Yes, I'm a try hard, but I'm not trying to get hurt. I don't want to see anyone get hurt. I'm not the dirty plays. We talk shit. That's fine. It's all fun and games. But the dirty plays and player safety is a big concern of mine, because I had to go to work after my beer league game. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm not doing that and going home and chilling.
Yeah, an ice bath.
Yeah, that, and there's that, and just the responsibilities of life, right? And this is why I wanted to bring this up, because I saw one of the craziest things I've ever seen in a beer league game last night. And here's the thing: and for those of you, I know a lot of people aren't exactly hockey fans that watch this pod and stuff like that. They just support us, and they like the boys and the stories. But so the best thing about hockey is there's a code. There's a code. Hockey's pretty much self-regulated. If someone throws a hit, you're going to get hit back, especially in a non-checking league. You can do a little loving against the board, stuff like that. No problem. And I'm the type of guy, I've always been the type of hockey player. When the game was over, it's all on the ice. You know what I mean? There's no parking lot bullshit. There's not meet me outside. No, bro. We always handle the game on the ice. And when the game's over, I'll go have a beer with you. I got no. That's why it's called beer league. I got no problem. Even we've had a couple of fisticuffs. Punching each other in the face. That's hockey.
And there's rules of that, right? Because even if you hate each other during that 30 seconds of throwing fists, once one guy's down,
you stop. Yeah, you don't want to injure.
You don't keep pounding the guy on the ground.
Exactly.
And things like that. You're right.
There's
rules.
There's code, and that's why I hate to say their name, but we are violent gentlemen. That's truly what we are. You know what I mean? We are all intense. We will all, and that's what's great about being on a team with your boys. Everyone's got each other's backs and stuff like that. So rolling right into this, I was already in the penalty box. I had gotten a scuffle with a younger player. I'll tell you all about that after the pod. So I'm in the box serving my penalty. Play goes on. A hit happens in the corner, right? I can't see it. It's all the way down in the corner. So I'm like, whatever. Hear the whistle blow. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, the referee is escorting the player to the box from the other team, right? Escorting the player down the box. And I don't know what happens. I don't know what was said. I couldn't hear the words. Obviously I'm in the box. The referee, the player gets away from the referee. Full sprint from in between the red line, blue line, all the way down to the corner. And he's lining up one of our guys. Like he's getting ready to crush one of our guys at full speed, right? Luckily, while all those guys are still exchanging words, the situation is diffusing. Thank God one of our defensemen, Brandon, big shout out to Brandon, he sees him coming down and he just stiffs arms the fuck out of him, slams him in the glass, uses his momentum, slams him in the glass, right? So that happens. Everyone's like, what the fuck, So the ref at this point literally he has the guy by his collar and he's like dry humping him down the fucking ice. Like it was one of the best examples of a referee, especially at a beer league game that I've ever seen. So he's like carrying the guy down the ice, right? So one of our other guys is skating from, their defensive zone, and he's like, in the face-off circle in the center, like almost red line. The player on the other team gets away from the ref for half a second, bro. Two hands, baseball chop, bro. Like pass me this stick. Is there a stick right here? Stick right here. Those of you who don't know, I'm talking about two hands. This guy took his stick, two hands like this, swung it from all the way behind his back at my player's head, at our player's head. Thank God he was aware, like he was paying attention, like he wasn't just like skating around. Like thank God he was aware, was able to lift his stick up enough and block it. This guy swung full fucking swing, bro, and tried to chop our dude's head off. Like if he didn't hit him, like if he didn't block that thing, that was going to hit him in the neck, in the head, ear hole, like somewhere there. This guy was laser locked on chopping our guy's head, right?
Bro, intent to injure.
Intent, like assault. Like so that's the thing. When I said there's a code, there's a certain code. You want to fight, that's fine. I'm always down for a fight. There's no problem with that. But when you're talking about seriously injuring someone, changing the course of their life,
attacking someone.
Imagine if he caught that stick to the ear hole, even though he's wearing a helmet.
The neck.
Due to the neck, blunt force to the head like that, with a helmet or not, you're fucked. In one way or another, you're fucked. Thank God I'm telling you, man, and he just reacted just enough time, man, because the guy was like, he came from down below and did a full chop swing. Thank God our guy blocked it, man, because I couldn't imagine what the outcome would be if he didn't block it.
Like suspended.
Oh, he's gone. So not only.
So it's like a rivalry game.
No, yeah. So they have a couple kids on this team. It kind of reminds me of us in the old Misfits team when we were younger. So they're all hotheads. You know what I mean? And that's why I had to tussle with the kid that I had to tussle with. I was like, what's happening right now? I was like, okay, this is fine. I was like, I get it. You're fucking young, dumb, whatever, dude. But yeah, so this guy, full out went to injure one of our players with his hockey stick, which is assault. It's assault with a deadly weapon, whatever, man. The rink called the cops immediately. Within 5 minutes, there were Charles County cops up there at the rink. The guy was undressing out of there in a minute because he knew he was fucked, right? So this was the second period with 10 minutes left. So everything's going on. They decided to run the second period out. We were kind of like, look, we're winning. We were up 3-1 or 4-1 at the time. We were like, look, they need to forfeit and we'll just take the dub. Like I was to the point where I was like, this is not safe, like for our guys. Like no one's like, we all have jobs. We're adult. It's beer league.
Yeah,
it's fucking beer league. Like we all have jobs.
Yeah.
My man who's got swung at just had a baby 6 months ago. Has a family, has a wife, has a career, and it's like this isn't worth it. You know what I mean? Like I'm just trying to play some puck here. Like again, no problem with having a tussle. No problem with some fisticuffs. It's hockey, and those things are going to happen. But for someone to swing like that with the full intention of ruining someone's life, you know what I mean? Like that guy had the full intention of injuring our player, right?
Yeah.
So the cops are there. The cops are talking to me because I was literally the closest person next to the rink manager when it happened. I'm like, bro, I was like, you guys don't understand. Like if that would have connected, like we'd be carrying him off the ice. Like there'd be an ambulance with you guys. It wouldn't just be you guys here. So the cops, talking to our player, he's like, look, do you want to press charges? Like right away. Like they're like, right away, do you want to press charges? Our player's like, we're just trying to play hockey and finish the game. He was like, can I talk to you after the game? They're like, sure, no worries. Finish out the game. There was a little bit more incidents, but it was kind of like a sobering. Everyone got calm after that.
Did they yank the guy out of the locker room?
Oh no, he was like, that's what I mean. He was already gone.
Oh,
like, he got undressed and he was out of there in a minute. Like Rob saw the guy speeding out of the parking lot. He was like, oh, what the fuck's that about? And then once he got in there, he saw the cops, and the cop was there a few minutes later because we were talking and stuff like that. So hands down, one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Wow. But here's so look, it's on Live Barn. I'm going to be getting the video off Live Barn, so we'll be able to hopefully be able to share it and see it. So we finish the game, get the dub. As we're coming out, we talk to the rink manager. The rink manager's pressing charges. The guy is banned from the rink. They are sending the Live Barn video to USA Hockey. He will never be able to play hockey again. Like, he's done, bro. He'll be able to play pickup and stuff like that, but he'll never be able to register for a league.
Yeah.
No more leagues, no more tournaments. Over something in the corner that I still don't know. There was a hit of some sort. You know what I mean? And it wasn't a big hit because obviously everyone was fine. You know? But so this guy just ruined his love for the game. Just ruined his love of the game. And look, I used to be a hothead. I still can be a hothead. But I know that I've never personally attacked someone with my stick. I've been attacked with a stick. Actually, that's a lie. I cross-checked the fuck out of Hunter. And when I cut myself. And now he's on our team. See what happens? See what happens, folks? But that's a cross-check. Cross-checks happen. I'm not maliciously, trying to chop someone. Now, I've been chopped. I was chopped in high school. I took a two-hander to the back of the knee before. Thank God, my knee, it didn't ruin anything. But, I mean, it fucking hurt. I'll tell you that. But I personally have never seen a two-hand chop like that.
That's some shit we see like scrolling on Instagram.
Yeah.
We share to the boys.
Yeah.
Like, check this wild shit out.
Well, that's what we were talking about that in the locker room. They're like, do you guys remember that video from I think it was last year where that guy did that, where he hit the guy from behind?
But he connected.
Yeah, and knocked that guy out, and his face slammed in the ice.
And then another guy came flying at him and knocked him out.
Yeah. So one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I was shook.
You have to applaud the refs, it sounds like.
Oh my God.
This
ref, Steve, thank God he was there, because the other ref was like this scrawny little guy. Like, it could have been a totally different outcome. It would have been ugly, right? The ref did such a good job. Like, when I talk about dry humping, so he was already manhandling the guy down the rink, right? And then once he swung, the ref literally body slams him on the ice. And I'm talking about dry humping. He was dry humping him out the door. Like, out the door. And to the point where the guy was kicking and flailing, he kicked Steve in the hand and cut the referee's hand. So the referee was bleeding.
Was this guy young?
I mean, he wasn't that young. I mean, I would say he's
Probably
a man.
Close our age?
If not our age, and I've heard rumors that he's older.
Wow.
I don't know the guy.
Was he a bender?
Yeah. I mean, nothing to worry about. Irrelevant.
Skill-wise,
yeah. Irrelevant. Your average beer league.
When I was getting, I was like, not to insult anyone that's new to the game. That's not something you see from a vet.
Correct.
Someone that's played hockey.
Someone who plays hockey all the time.
It's played hockey their lives. That's a very immature, inexperienced reaction.
Yes.
Like, bro, your second period, I got all third period to get you back. I'm gonna put up points.
Yeah.
Look, and give you an L and maybe bump you a few times. Like, that's silly.
It was crazy. We eat slashes all the time. Slash is expected. If you steal the puck, I expected it. Like, that's pretty much what started the whole tussle between me and the other guy. I stick checked the shit out of him. Got the puck, and I was like, fuck, he's on my back. I was like, when's the slash coming? Whoop, caught the slash on my leg. There it is. Went outside, went to go shoot. Shot, goalie made the save. And as I hit the brakes, he, ran into me. And I was like, okay. Like, what? I was like, okay. And then he just got in my face and we started jaw jacking, is what it is. And I'm like, I wanted to punch him in the face, like, so bad. But I was like, you know what? I'm to the point now where I just want to play. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to sit that was my first penalty all season. Like, I don't take penalties.
You were going somewhere when you said you were in the box.
Yeah, like, I don't take penalties anymore, because I would much rather be on the ice having fun with my friends.
On the ice.
Absolutely. Now I am. Like, absolutely. And that's what I mean. I've been through the stages where all I was a goon. And now I've evolved into an actual hockey
even
player.
For a goon, the two-hand.
Yeah, it's beyond.
This isn't the 60s.
Yeah. So just one of the craziest things I've ever seen. So anyway, like I said, rink banned him for life. The rink is pressing charges. They're sending the clip to USA Hockey. The dude's done. Never playing hockey again in America, in a tournament, a league. Sure, he can play pickup, but I mean, you might as well hang up the skates, bud. You're done. And I don't know. I haven't talked to the player yet that was assaulted, but the rink was telling him, when we were all talking to the rink manager, he was like, "We're pressing charges. We want you to press charges." Like, they were like, that could, like, and I kept telling him, I'm like, look, man, I'm not ever one to I don't like to get the police involved with a fight, because that's why it's a fight. Be a man about it. If you want to fight, have a fight.
Yeah,
but also, I'm not smashing your head into a curb. Once someone's knocked down, that's pretty much the end of it, So, there's an extent of that. Like I said, there's a code, but the rink was pushing him to press charges as well. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I was shook, like, going to where I hit Stevie up last night. I was like, bro, I just saw one of the most I was involved in one of the wildest games I've ever.
Steve-O wasn't there?
No, thank God. So this is another thing. Thank God Stevie wasn't there, because if Stevie was there, the first altercation between me and the guy would have been different. I know it would have been different because Stevie, he's still a hothead.
Yeah.
So, and he knows that because we talked about it on the phone that night. He was like, "Oh, he's like, I'm seeing red right now," and he wasn't even there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and that's what's different. And that's also between me and you guys. That's one of the reasons why I didn't fight the guy, is because yes, I'm on that team, but this team I'm on, me and Steve are on, and the hobby is our former rival. You know, like they fuck with us. Like we're all good people. We all know each other, but like that's our former rival. So, you know, I'm not saying they're not going to have my back, but not to the extent that the boys would have.
Yeah, if the squad was out there and this happened,
it's a different thing. Yeah. So that was different. So that weighed in my mind. I was like, you know what? No one's really got my back like that. You know what I mean? Like, yes, they do. They would have helped in the situation. Of course, it's code. You know, you're here for the boys. But I was like, you know what? Let me just let this one go, because he had like 4 guys. Like he had a whole line that's like his boys, and I was like, this could go bad. Because I wasn't wearing a cage, and everyone else was wearing cages. It made me want to put my cage back on. Like, I think I put my cage back on. Wow. Like that's what they got to. So I was like, man, I was like, you know what? Let me chill. I'll just go eat the penalty. It is what it is. But yeah, man, crazy night.
Wow,
crazy
what a
night of
beer league story there.
When the cops get involved, you know, with coming to a rink or hockey like that, it's always fucking crazy, right? Like we see videos and stuff where like players fight fans, you know, parents fight. I mean, hockey's a fucking crazy sport. As great as the sport is, it's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm like, these guys are young, and they're like, just the trash talking. I'm like, bro, like I belong here. Like I know I'm a beer leaguer. Like you need to sell. You haven't realized that your career's over, buddy. Like this is what you got to look forward to the rest of your life is beer league. And I love beer league.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm just like, dude, like, you know, like we're just talking shit to each other. I was like, this is hilarious. Like to me, it's hilarious because I don't give a fuck. I'm going to serve my opponent and go score a goal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it was a wild fucking.
So you guys were able to finish the game?
Finish the game, yeah.
You guys got the dub?
Got the dub, sealed the deal.
So his boys called him afterwards. Hey, you got your band, and
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like I said, they're pressing charges, so I'm sure they're going to knock on that guy's door. I mean, obviously the rink manager knows who he is, has his information. So that's out of our hands. Now it's being dealt with by the authorities, which is crazy. That's I think that's only the second time ever in my life that I've seen cops called to a rink.
I haven't ever.
Yeah, I've seen one. It was because parents got to fight when I was playing travel hockey, which is
sense.
Absolutely berserk as well. But yeah, man, wild beer league night. I don't know how long that story just took, but wow.
Yeah, craziness. Speaking of coming at someone's head, you know, if you don't mind, we can bounce around here. Matthews.
Let's jump right in. Poppy with the suspension.
A suspension for a cross check on Darlene in the Heritage game. It looked a little high towards the neck, but it also looked like it could have caught. It slipped a little. He could have been aiming for his shoulder. Darlene's bigger, but at the same time, Darlene is kind of hunched over given the circumstances. It all starts off. Toronto's in the offensive zone. Matthews puts a bump on Darlene, knocks him down. Darlene doesn't forget. That's how the game goes. You bump me, I'm going to get you back. Well, he gets him back. Matthews charges towards the front of the net. Darlene gives him a bump. Kind of gets the best of him.
Mm-hmm.
Matthews doesn't like that. Comes back to
a couple times, not just once. He pushes him into the net and then cross checks.
I wouldn't say he manhandled him, but he was in full control.
He took advantage of Poppy being on one foot.
Yeah,
he took advantage.
And then so when he comes to come back at him, he's up high with that cross check and it catches him
in the neck.
And during game, it's a 2-minute.
Yeah,
it's a 2-minute call. NHLPA, NHL step in. And they give him 2 games.
Crazy.
I didn't think it's worth it.
Look,
this is a superstar player.
And so, look, he was defending himself. He was literally, like, Darlene was putting Matthews, if the crossbar wasn't there, Matthews was in the net. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So not only is he's cross-checking him while he's down, Matthews gets up, responds. Like you said, look to me like he wasn't going for his head. It looked like he was just trying to get him in the shoulder because, you know, when you get up in that upper arm, that shit fucking hurts. You know, that's what he was trying to do. Rode up.
It's such a slippery slope.
Yeah, that's rode up, caught the neck.
Caught the pad. Yeah.
And kudos to Anderson from Buffalo. Goaltender kind of stepped in and said, this is fucking gone far enough because it happened right basically in the
didn't like the way he handled it, though, because he turns his back to Matthews and he's pulling his guy. And this is what I hate, especially when someone breaks up a fight. You got to be careful when breaking up a fight the way you do it because he left Darlene vulnerable. If Matthews wanted to.
Swung.
Anderson had Darlene covered. Yeah. He could have just gone at him. And, you know, you got to be careful with those stuff. I respect it. He's, hey, you know, don't catch an L. We need you out here type of deal. But, yeah.
And then in that same instance, I said it before, Matthews was defending himself. Mm-hmm. It was behind the play. you got everyone else on the Leafs is up in the defensive zone because that's where the play's going.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, Matthews had to do that. He had to defend himself.
Yeah.
If not, he just got punked in front of the net.
Yeah, because if it's a 5-on-5 and Buffalo's zone and this is happening, a winger,
someone else is
stepping in.
You're number one. You're not your captain. I'm sorry, but was it captain?
He's all He's
got
A.
Yeah. So not only that, but one of your superstars.
Arguably your best player. He's arguably the best player in the league, going for MVP maybe this year, and the Rocket.
And the Rocket, bro.
And this guy's getting pounded by one of the other team's star defensemen.
Right. Got to step up. So I don't see. Now here's my thing. I understand the NHLPA and they under Gary Bettman, it's always been a shit show, but it's only a 2-minute call. That shouldn't be reviewed. Now, if they gave him a 5-minute, if the referee determined, hey, this is worth a 5 and a double minor, not even
how do you catch a 2, finish the game,
and get a suspended?
But Cousins gets a 10, and is watching from the sidelines.
Yeah,
it's definitely. I agree with you there. If you catch a 2 in the middle of a game, I don't think you should be able to be suspended for something like that. But at the same time, there's things that get missed and don't even get called, then they get suspended for later. So it's a fine line. It's a fine line.
For those.
Almost got a lick, that guy on Keller. You saw that?
This guy's so. I wonder what he was saying, but I mean, Marchand had Keller wrapped.
Yeah, and he's like,
and was just
vampire style.
Yeah, so I mean, and I did enjoy the Heritage Classic. All the Leafs dressed up in construction worker clothes. Thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Buffalo all wore Flint Tropics basketball uniforms. Having fun. It's good to see that we talked earlier about Poppy in the season and stuff like that, and guys being able to Pasternak, wearing the suits and stuff, being able to finally express their personalities, their style, the swag, all of it. It's good to see that players allowed to do that, and they're allowing them to have fun with it.
Yeah.
So I was a fan of that. Not a fan of the Poppy suspension. 2-minute, I think it was fine at 2-minute. Now you're taking, especially MVP chasing down the Rocket. Now he's back 2 games.
Yeah, and I want to kind of focus here on Buffalo for a second. We'll bounce back, or we're going to bounce back to an earlier game, and we'll come back to this Toronto game. Before this, Buffalo's coming off great momentum. Jack Eichel's back in Buffalo for the first time.
Right.
I was excited to watch this game because I wanted to see how it goes down, and he caught boos all night. Every time he touched the puck, even to the point where he had fans saying thanks for nothing, which to me, hey, Buffalo, I understand you're salty, didn't work out with a young superstar, but you guys didn't give him much to work with either. It's not like you guys were getting knocked out first round every year and he couldn't produce in the playoffs. Right. Like, you guys couldn't do it. And then you didn't want to let him get the surgery. He goes to Vegas. The first week he's there, he gets the surgery. He's already back on the ice, and look at him now.
And the warm welcoming from Vegas on top of that.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of Buffalo guys saying, oh, we won this one because Krebs and Alex Took also scored. Took also stripping Eichel, putting the empty netter in, kind of sealing the deal, the Buffalo kid there. So Buffalo was riding a very momentum high. They come in, they play Toronto in this great heritage game, big NHL deal, and they get a dub here too. This is a game Toronto should have won.
Right.
And I think them now losing Matthews, I think Toronto really has to kind of turn it around.
Yeah, I saw the meme. I just laughed. The meme where they had the L on the jersey. That shit, that hurts, man. I feel like Toronto can't catch a break. They cannot catch a break.
Yeah, because
no matter how much
got injured.
Yeah, and no matter how much momentum they have, you lose a game like that. Cherry on top. Now Matthews is suspended for 2. It's like, what the fuck?
It's always something. Yeah, they started out Marner's ice and cold.
Yeah.
And they're talking about maybe we should split the duo up. They should trade this. They should trade that. First round exit. They're not even going to make the playoffs. Now these guys, we got Matthews heating up. 2 hat tricks in 4 games?
Yeah, I mean, he was on a killer point shot.
Yeah. He's arguably going for MVP and Rocket at the same time, like I already said. I would give it to him at this
Absolutely.
point. I guess we'll see how Toronto does without him these next 2 games, but yeah, it's a fucking huge roller coaster in that fishbowl of Toronto.
Definitely, I can't agree more. Like I said, and with Matthews and this kid, he's really becoming himself. Like, watching him play in Toronto, you see he's getting progressively better every year. Mm-hmm. He's unlocking another attribute every year, and to see him come alive and stay alive, and then he gets put on this back burner with this sus. It's not helping out. But, hopefully Toronto can turn around, hold together. There's some time left in the season. They're notorious for the first round exit, no matter how good they are. So, maybe they can break that curse. And back in the day, we talked this before. Back in the day, a lot of people compared the Capitals and the Leafs together because of just the first round, second round. I mean, we had the second round curse as well. But with our rivalry with Pittsburgh and stuff, which really to us isn't even a rivalry anymore. We buried that.
Yeah, it's going to be tough now. It might be flaring back up because Pittsburgh's looking hot this season.
Yeah,
and it wouldn't be unrealistic for us to maybe catch them in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I'm fun with that. I think it's what it's doing. Hold on here, folks. There we go. All good to go here. But yeah, definitely going to be something to keep an eye on. We'll dive more into the trade deadline. We don't have that much time this evening, but we'll dive more into the trade line next week as we get closer. Still Giroux, Fleury. Those are the two biggest names on the trade block right now. And dude, I mean, Giroux is going to be a great addition to any team going after a cup this year. That my man's got.
And it's crazy to see the names are being thrown out there. Florida, Tampa Bay, Edmonton.
Could you imagine
Giroux and Giroux could be the missing piece, the missing link for Edmonton. Edmonton picks him up. I think they really have goalie issues more than anything, but McDavid and Draisaitl, can put the points up. It's crazy to see what's going to happen. The Caps needing a goalie. Speaking of goalies, the goaltending in Washington.
Sucks.
But the kid Fuchel, career organizational history. It was career history, but career organizational record of 3 shutouts. 3 shutouts in a row.
You guys are tipping. I just fucking drool.
Slippery when wet. And that's just a testament to what we've preached about.
Yes.
Washington has great goaltending coaches. They farm these motherfuckers from the ground up, and we produce superstars. And you don't believe me? Grubauer, Varlamov, these guys are starting goaltenders in other organizations now after coming up through our farm system. So I think it's kind of a light at the end of the tunnel kind of deal. Like, listen, if these two don't work out like we thought they were, we still got this. And that's great to hear because I'm going to love this team till I die. So I'm going to go through superstar, goalie, whatever,
And what's tough is still remembering we would be in a totally different scenario with Hank. We did bring Hank on, Henrik Lundqvist. We brought Hank on. Unfortunate health issues, retires.
And he wasn't brought on to win games.
No,
he was. But more or less a veteran experience to help mature our young goaltenders.
Both of them.
And you can see it now. Sammy, if you look at him on paper, you're like, I'm taking him first round.
Yeah.
However, the inconsistency is just so dramatic.
It's brutal. So not only are we battling goaltending inconsistencies, but top 6 inconsistencies, bottom 6. Our bottom 6 is starting to fall apart a little bit. We did have Anthony Montes back in the lineup. Great to see him back in the lineup. Definitely brings that energy to that second line.
Big fan of Mo.
Knows where to put the puck. Great shot. I mean, I'm telling you, I made this comparison when we first got Monta. Reminds me of Kovalchuk. With that long reach, he can shoot from anywhere.
And he's sneaky with it. He can get it off.
Yes.
In tight spaces too, which is real deadly because he can come across that middle into a crowded area and still put it on net. He's got a lethal shot. And that trade worked out. We traded for Verana, who's also now back off the injury list and scored the same night.
Yep, doing well too. I think he's on a 10-game streak already.
Yeah,
with points.
So it's great to see him.
Yeah, the Wings definitely miss Verana. I miss watching Verana play. Talk about another player who we could watch every year grow. You know what I mean? He was all wheels. Then he got wheels and shot. Then he got hands, wheels, and shot. It's incredible to watch him.
Once he gets that IQ, he's playing with Larkin now. Detroit's really starting to make a turnaround over there. It could be 2 or 3 years, but I see them making the playoffs before Buffalo.
Absolutely, and Detroit's got a couple Calder possibles on their. They got 2 Calder possibles on their lineup right now. So Detroit could be turning things around. It's going to be an interesting finish to this season, in my opinion. But let's jump back to the Capitals real fast, then we're going to jump into our NHL update. Ovi's still burying the puck. Chasing down, I believe he caught Lemieux, correct? I'm a little bit behind.
No, he's tied with Yager.
Tied with Yager. I said Lemieux.
Yeah.
Tied with Yager. Sorry, I'm on nights. My brain is all over the place. Tied with Yager. Kuzi didn't steal one from him. I heard some people
fumbling on the line.
He buried the puck.
We want the W. We want the goal. We don't want the record.
He did his job. So Ovi coming on the streak. Some of the boys coming alive. Oshie's coming alive. Good to have him back in the high slot, taking the pressure off Ovi on the power play. It's good to see Oshie burying goals from the hash marks there. I still think we have, I was a fan of our defense in the beginning of the year. I think as the year's going on, our defensive age is starting to show. and I hate to say his name because I'm the biggest fan of this guy, John Carlson. His age is starting to
Been a
show.
dramatic decline.
Yes, not. I don't even want to say dramatic, but noticeable. Like it's been noticeable this year.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, and what's good is
It's
that
been a
Orlov,
tough year for Washington, though, and his
yes,
defense. And these guys are playing heavy minutes. John
they
Carlson
are
plays some of the top minutes.
24 minutes a game. Like
Yeah.
he's out there a whole period and some. You know, thank goodness Orlov
Plus
is in
PK, plus power play.
Yeah, all
you
of
know?
it. And Orlov has really stepped up. I feel like in his role, he's been more involved again. Got the hands coming alive. He's got a bomb of a shot.
Yep.
He's got a heavy shot. So seeing him more involved, I'm liking it. Faye Harvey stepping in. Faye Harvey stepping in. Loving the kid, loving the flow.
And that comes from the maturity of the vet. He's lined
Yes.
up with what we were talking about with the goaltenders with Hank. He's lined up with Carlson,
Yeah.
who was, you know, a candidate for the best defenseman in the league 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, you guys got skill. Johnny can do it. He's game-winning goal, you know, for USA.
He's our guy. I mean,
you
he's
can
been an
see
anchor on this team.
But for me, if we're talking age and decline, Schultz should have been gone last season.
I agree. He's definitely lost this. And I don't like talking about losing a step, but he's lost a step this year. It's noticeable. The level of play isn't there that we need it to be. I mean, he's still obviously an NHL. I'm not throwing any shade at that, but from what we need him to do, it's not there.
Yeah. I'm not worried because of the youth and the depth that the Washington Capitals have. But to replace a guy like John Carlson is going to be hard, and it is sad to start seeing him decline because he's right there in that group with the Nicky Yanovis that came in at the same time, that trio. But it's just a passing of the what's the phrase?
Torch.
Passing of the torch. Yeah, exactly. It just sucks to see, and that normally means for a team when your star players are starting to age out like that you're going to start missing playoffs.
Yep.
Hopefully the Caps though can bring it together to where they can slowly work them out, slowly work them in, and we don't miss a beat because nobody wants to go a couple seasons without playoffs.
Absolutely.
And if you have an organization where you're bringing new guys in that produce while the older guys are starting to fade off and keep that consistency, that's huge.
It's going to be that's what I mean, especially if we start to trail off like that. A lot of these, you know, post-OV Caps fans, they haven't seen a losing team. Mm-hmm. You know, we lost in the first round, second round, finally got the cup in 18.
But making the playoffs is huge compared to
we've always made the playoffs.
Whereas before, after 98, it was a tough time. Ovi's first few seasons here were brutal. Even talks of maybe trading them and things like that were passed around. It's crazy the rumors that went on during that era. We had some really great players come through too.
Yeah.
During that time, it just couldn't get it done. Eventually, Caps building it and getting it to go and get over that hump, which that's where the comparison with Toronto comes into play that you were talking about.
Yep.
They got a lot of key pieces. They just need to get over that hump.
For sure.
They thought Jumbo was going to do it. They thought, bringing in,
it's a great addition for a year.
Yeah.
You know?
So we'll see what happens. It's a tough game.
It's definitely
it really
tough.
is.
Speaking of that, this year's playoffs are going to be nuts. Let's jump in and do a quick. Let's catch you guys up on division standings and stuff like that real fast. We'll start with the Atlantic real quick. Florida Panthers still holding down the number one spot. 86 points, 40 wins. Tampa right on their heels, 38 wins at 82 points. Toronto still, we're talking about Toronto. They're still in third here. In third, 37 wins, 79 points. Boston clipping the heels here at 77 points. And then it's a 20-point deficit, 4 down. Detroit, that's going to be our top 4 out of that division.
Mm-hmm.
Florida, Tampa, Toronto, Boston. Boston kind of going through a little rough patch, not burying the puck as much as they're used to. That they're having some top line woes. It's crazy how wishy-washy Marchand has got this year because one week he's in every highlight video, and then you just don't even hear his name unless he's licking somebody or being Marchand.
I think that's just another one of those starting to age out. Unfortunately, we've seen Marchand for so long. I think we're starting to see the decline of being able to bring it night in and night out.
I agree. I completely agree. Hold on, I'm trying to pull that.
The big gap though with the Detroit and Buffalo, Ottawa, and Montreal in that division, it's not going to happen. But to see, I mean, like I just said, what are they at? Detroit 55, Buffalo 48. Yeah, Detroit makes the playoffs next season. I think. If they stay in the way they're going, Buffalo losing Rask, maybe they thought it was over. Maybe they're still in that fight, but they're now a borderline team, and I could see something happening there. I don't see Florida, Tampa Bay, or Toronto falling off.
I don't
Not in the
definitely don't see them
next,
falling off.
not next season for
No,
sure.
Florida is just going to continue to build steam here. Barkov, Duclair having a hell of a season. Huberdeau's 83 points on the year. I mean,
Eager, Sam Bennett,
Yeah,
they have
dude.
Reinhardt, they have so much depth.
So great to have Ekblad back with them, having a great season.
5 looks great out
39
there.
assists. I mean, this Florida team and Bob down there having a hell of a season. And Stephen Knight down there, they've got solid goaltending. They've got it all right now. Florida's still, I mean, other than the Cats being number one pick, obviously, for the Cup, Florida's my number one pick for the Cup. I see, especially with Colorado. We'll jump into Colorado in a minute, but they took a couple injuries as of late.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, this Atlantic Division is definitely going to be this is I think the Cup team is coming in the Atlantic Division. That's all. That's how I'll leave it. I think the Cup's coming back to it's going to be on the East Coast and it's going to the Atlantic.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Florida's I have a tie at first for Cup this year, and it's Florida, Carolina.
Okay, yeah, okay. I'm not sleeping on Carolina. Carolina's dirt nasty this year, but I feel like it's going to be, if they played a 7-game series, that's going to be a battle.
Yeah,
that is going to be an absolute.
My only thing, and we'll get into their division here, is Colorado is just starting to wear on me on one of those teams you expect to win and they just don't pull the trigger. I love McKinnon. Yeah, he's so great to watch him play. So explosive. He's a generational player. But these guys got to get over the hump, right? I think a lot of people have expected them to win the last
for a couple
years.
A couple years. I mean, they're a top tier team. This is a top 10 team, top 5 team in the league. They were the favorite, I think, going into this season. Chicklets and the boys, all NHL Network. They're putting Colorado right up there at number 1. Let's go ahead and jump to the Central since we're talking about Colorado. Colorado in the number 1 spot, 42 wins, 89 points. Got a little bit of a gap on St. Louis, 34 wins.
They're first in the league.
Yeah, they are first in with points. St. Louis nipping on their heels, 76 points. Minnesota holding down that 3rd spot, was actually tied with Nashville with 72 points. And look, the Central, we talk about this all the time. The Central, there can still be some mix-ups. Mm-hmm. Dallas holding on to that 5th spot, 67 points. Winnipeg, 64 points. Couple wins here, couple big wins. You got some momentum changes. Nashville, we talked about them before. I don't know if they're going to be able to hold on, especially with Dallas and Winnipeg coming down.
They've looked good, though, man. Duchesne the other night had a beauty of a goal. Forsberg's firing, but he's on the trade market. It's tough to see what's going to happen with this Nashville market. Minnesota, though, really has my eye right now.
Yeah.
Fiala is just so fun to watch. 2-2 is a beaut. Then you got Kipper. You got Zook. There's so much. I think, where does it? Yeah, Kipper saw 30 goals, 43 assists with 73 points. And it's the same all the way through. For their goals, assists, and points are all the same top 3. Kip. I'm sorry. No, Hartman coming in goals for 23. That's huge. But Zuccarello, 41 assists. Fiala, 34. And then 20 goals. Their points, it's great. They got some decent goaltending. Cam Talbot. I'm a fan of Cam Talbot.
Big fan of Cam. He still got some juice in him. The Penguins kicked them to the side, I think, a little early.
Yep, they got Kakinen over there. So Minnesota's really a team that could steal it.
Yeah, Capo, I think, he's been consistent, but if he takes it, you got to see him step up just a little bit more. Then you got that's a hell of a 1-2 combo, in my opinion. I'm a 1-2 goalie guy. I don't like to have a starter and a backup. I like to have a 1-2 punch combo.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and Minnesota's a fun team to watch. It's a fast team.
Mm-hmm.
They're great on the cycle. Kipper can take the puck all the way around without anyone touching him. All he does is create opportunities for the team. I love watching it. But I do want to jump back to Colorado real fast. Landeskog out for the season.
Mm-hmm.
Knee surgery. They thought it was going to be short. Under the knife, it's going to be the rest of the season. That's a big loss.
Some cap space, though.
It does, but it's a big
right
loss.
At the trade deadline, but it's going to happen. Perfect timing.
True.
There's no replacement for him that's going to be available. But that leaves them room to maybe go pick up a Giroux. Maybe go pick up a big name that's getting slept on and that they can swing now, especially with how we know the rules work going into the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
My biggest surprise before we leave the Central is Winnipeg at 6th under Dallas. I really expected them to be up there in the top 4. To see it go Nashville, Dallas, Winnipeg, it's kind of a surprise.
I think they're still figuring it out. I think, and that's the thing. I'm not counting them out. That's the only thing is Dallas is a couple more games behind, still making up some COVID stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But Winnipeg is good. Man, they're one of those teams that are right there. They can be a powerhouse. They get the right things going. Some things they can make some big changes and they can climb up these ranks. But yeah, for as of right now, I don't want to count them out. They're less than 10 points behind. A couple wins, that's a big swing.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something they can do here.
Let's jump over to pretty much the closest division in the entire NHL,
yes.
and every position is up for grabs.
Yeah.
The Pacific. This one is real close. Calgary they're leading the division right now with 79 points, and they look good.
We talked about this last year when Calgary made it deep into the playoffs. No pressure. This is a team, still in my opinion, that has no pressure on them. They're out there. They're playing puck. 36 wins, 79 points. The boys are out there doing work.
See, I have to draw the line there. I have to disagree. I think there's a lot of pressure.
Okay.
I think the fact that they've had such great skill, Johnny, you got Kachuk, they're expecting to win now. I think they've gotten to the point where they're expecting to win. And yes, they did great. They did okay last year, but this year I think they're really looking to make a stand and say, hey, we're here. We're for real.
Yeah.
And make a push for the cup. Listen, when you talk about Colorado, you talk about Carolina, Florida, Tampa Bay, it's tough to say, hey, Calgary could beat them in a best of 7. Yeah. But we've seen crazier things with Montreal come through and things like that, So it's tight. But real quick, I'll go over this. Pacific Division, Calgary, 79. The Kings, 74. Edmonton, 68. Vegas, 68. Vancouver, 65.
65, yeah.
Anaheim, 64. San Jose, 59.
That's close. No, you can't take a night off. You cannot take a night off in that division.
And these interdivision games are now they're gold.
Yeah.
And if you lose a game to a division rival, it's going to hurt you way more than any other season. I feel like this is a tight one in this division. This LA, Edmonton, Vegas, Vancouver, Anaheim, that close.
Yeah, I do want to jump back to Calgary real fast. And Calgary's got some solid depth up here. Top 5 goal scorers, Elias Lindholm, Magnapane, Tkachuk, Giroux, Tyler Toffoli. These guys are all you talking about having a top 5 and Blake Coleman right there in the mix up.
Yeah, coming over from Tampa Bay.
Yeah, talking about having guys that are clicking, burying the puck, big on assists.
Magnapane had a great year starting off too as far as goals. I think he was top 5 for a while.
Yeah, he was right up there in the top running. So I mean, like you said, Calgary can do it. LA definitely surprised me. I did not expect to see LA this high.
Especially considering the age of their guys. They still got Dustin Brown.
Yeah.
Kopitar. They're still using Jonathan Quick.
Yep.
Drew Doughty, who didn't make the roster for Canada, even though they didn't even play. He was upset about that. They still have some age, almost similar to Washington. They're core.
They're proving a point out here because LA they've had some woes the last couple seasons. You know what I mean? They haven't been where we thought they could be. And then look at this year.
They're getting some production though. Alex Alafalo, Kempe, they have some real skill over there too that can carry. So Kopitar can still light it up.
Kopitar's a beast, son. I'll never
Jonathan Quick can steal you a game.
Yeah, he's a wall, and Quick has been a vital source to that team.
Yeah.
Definitely, and international play as well. Quick's a beast. Edmonton holding down that third spot, like you said, 68 points, tied with Vegas. Edmonton again. Are they going to have what it takes to get deep into the playoffs, or is this a first round type of team again? We know it can't be done with 2 people. We know they signed, Nurse for the long term. They're making these moves. Is it?
They brought Hyman in from Toronto. Yeah, they've made moves in the right direction. I don't know if they're playing their best hockey right now, though. If they can turn it around, this is a team that's going to be scary to play night in, night out.
They're scary as is. I mean,
McDavid, Draisaitl, back to back to back. I think it's a goaltending thing. I think this team is very similar to Washington. They have the superstars. They have the skill. I think your goaltending is kind of leaving them out to dry. I think it's the Mike Smith Edmonton era is over.
Yeah, it's tough. Mike's he's a big goalie, but I don't think they need to push.
He's not a number 1.
They need to push for sure.
Yeah.
Touching on Vegas, Eichel out there. You know what? We were talking about Eichel earlier. I did want to talk about his presence on the ice. He's got. I'm a big Eichel fan, American-born hockey player, obviously. I didn't see I don't have the Eichel presence yet. I want to see that full speed Eichel action. Though I want to see because we know what he's capable of. And I feel like maybe he's still coming off the injury. And maybe is he playing a little safe? I don't know. But I want to see him. But he hasn't had that pop for me yet.
Yeah, I actually got into a little riff-raff, a little tussle on Reddit with some Buffalo Sabres fans because I went to go see what they were talking about. And it's all, we won the trade, we did this, we did that.
No way, bud.
But to me, and this is my statement, I said that Eichel's not all the way there. And they were like, he said he's not coming back unless he's 100%. Hear me out. He can be 100% recovered. Nothing compares to in-game play.
Absolutely.
So he's not going to get up to in-game midseason form like these other players are.
Correct.
Right away.
He sat out a long time.
And you're seeing it. Third period, he's getting short. His minutes are very, very short. And if you see like the Alex Took goal where he strips him, he's dead.
Yeah.
He's dead. They have him out there because of the star ability and he can score, but
that's what I'm talking about. The pace isn't quite there yet. And look, the NHL is faster than it's ever been. Every year, these guys break a new level of speed. And you can tell that's what I meant. His pop isn't there. He's not quite there with his legs yet.
Yep.
Obviously, I mean, and look, you can be conditioned. We know that, conditioning is a very big thing, but that in-game speed, nothing matches that. You can't train for that in-game speed. And then come to the playoffs, it's even faster because now you're not playing a team that might not be there.
Yeah.
Only has a couple handful of guys that are bringing that pace. You get to the playoffs, every team is bringing that pace.
Yeah.
So
you do see some comfortability though with him. Not as much stress as having to do it all himself, because I love that he's always making the look to Pacioretty.
Yeah.
Every game I've watched, he's on the money with Patch. If those two start linking up and producing points, it's going to be scary. And you have to remember, Vegas is without Stone right now.
Yeah.
That's huge for them.
Yep.
And Robin Leonard also wasn't on the last trip. So we'll see what happens here with Vegas. This could be a make or break season for them. Going into next season, it's going to be tough, especially with all that salary cap.
Yeah, I'm not counting them out, but like you said, next year is going to be tough. They're going to be battling the salary cap. It might not be the Vegas we saw the first year in 2018, where we snuffed them on that one. 2019, they were still competitors. Mm-hmm. Their time might be running out as far as getting a cup early. They might be going long haul here. And Eichel, in my opinion, is a good one to go on a long haul. Get that kid in good form. Keep him surrounded with other star players, and something's going to happen for Vegas.
Yeah.
Let's jump up to the Metro real quick.
Just, one last thing I have to say
do it.
Vancouver, only 3 points out from the number 3 spot in this division. Just got the head coach. They're starting to turn things around. How crazy would it be to see Vancouver jump up?
It's not out of the question.
Knock out maybe a Vegas or a Edmonton out of a playoff spot. How wild would that be?
It's not out of the question. They're on some winning game streaks here. They're definitely capable. They've got the proper direction from coaching now.
Yeah, Bruce is a stud.
Gabby's it, man. Gabby was the most winningest coach in Capitals history. The guy knows what he's doing. I'm still a big fan of Bruce. He knows how to get the boys going. He knows how to get them on the right track. So Bruce is a great addition to them. If not this season, I mean, look where they are right now, 65 points. This is the Pacific that we talked about is a tight division. Mm-hmm. Next season, you might be a little bit different. Imagine Bruce having them all season. It's a different team, and not to count on Anaheim and leave them hanging.
Yeah,
the boys. That's a team. To me, that Anaheim's a magical team. They've got to be on the right pace. Everyone's got to be clicking, and you can see they're kind of wishy-washy. They kind of do this back and forth motion. They're not what they were, in my opinion, when they started. A lot of youth. That's what I mean. This could be another dangerous team next 2 to 3. I mean, Zegras is the future. He's the future. When McDavid came in, when Ovi came in, Ovi was the future of the NHL. Same with Crosby. McDavid was the future. Zegras is the future. That style of play, I think you get him bulking up a little bit, 20, 30 pounds on him, get him
some muscle. Yeah,
absolutely. He's going to be one hell of a player.
And you're already seeing it over there. Got the American stud Troy Terry, who's likely having a career year this year. It's a great direction for USA Hockey for sure. To start arguably the face of the NHL right now, Austin Matthews, American-born player, and then you got right under him. Zegras is the shiny new toy this year for the NHL, and he's really hasn't disappointed.
I can't agree more with that. Jumping over to the Metro real fast, guys. We've got Carolina holding down that first spot, 87 points. Pittsburgh in second with 81. New York in third with 79. Caps holding on to that 4th spot at 74. But we can't count on Columbus back here in 5th, 63 points.
Nope, you really can't. The way Washington has played here as of late, it's really scary as a Caps fan to say this, but Columbus could jump up. Yep. They haven't been hot. They're not the hottest team out right now, but there's no reason to count them out. Laine had turned it on. It went on a nice little streak there for a while. This team has some skill. They have some youth. If Washington can get all their pieces clicking, TJ comes back from injury. He hasn't really been the same. Washington just lost Lars Eller to COVID protocol. Manta's coming back, so he's been out 6-7 months.
Yeah, long time.
So he's not midseason form either. Nicky isn't midseason form. He came back 2 months ago. Yep. It seems like he's been back a while, but really it isn't. It isn't in the term of the season. You have to know this in the back of his mind. He's a human being. Ovi's dealing with a lot.
Yeah,
it's Russia bullshit. Everywhere he goes, he's getting booed now.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. He's worried about his family. The good thing is though, you got players like Kuznetsov who are really
season.
Yeah, he's playing really well and he's having fun with it.
Yep.
And I really think if Washington figures out the goaltending, that could be a staple for him. But yeah, you can't count Columbus out. Under that though, Islanders, Jersey, and Philly, they're kind of done skis.
Yeah. They're pretty much done. But I do want to touch on Carolina. You said Carolina, one of the favorites right now to win the cup. Sebastian Aho, Svechnikov, Niederreiter. I mean, these guys are having a season. They're having a season. Especially Aho, man. He's really in a good form right now. I've enjoyed watching him play. You can see the game is coming to him. It's almost like the game is coming to Sebastian Aho, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, Carolina is one of those teams that no matter who they're playing, it's going to be a fun game to watch. They bring some intensity as far as offensively and physically.
Yeah.
I think it was a great, huge signing, even though he's injured, Tony DeAngelo this season. That was real big for them. Also, Freddie coming down from Toronto. He's now out of arguably the toughest market to play in,
right,
into a more leisure, laid-back market. Nothing against Carolina fans, but compared to Toronto, it's a little more laid back, and he's been able to blossom down there.
Yeah.
They got a great coach on that bench. This organization's jumped through hoops and loops and strides through the last few seasons to get where they're at. I could see them winning another cup here.
I agree. And, dude, like you said, Freddie Anderson coming in, 30 wins, 8 losses, goals against 2.06. That's what it takes to win a cup. These guys he's only allowing 2 goals a game on average. That's a big deal when this team is burying 3, 4, 5 goals easily a game.
Yeah,
it's definitely a game changer. That's what you need as a goaltender. They got Rantno right behind him, goals against 2.29.
Yeah,
I mean, we talk heavy about goaltending because we're kind of missing it. We're missing it. We're missing it here in DC. So to have 2 guys like that, like I said, Freddie's definitely their go-to guy. But even Rantanen, 10-4. Solid backup. You can't complain about that, especially with his goals against.
Yeah.
That's gonna take them just as far as their offensive is burying pucks in the net.
Yeah, and then the second place team in this division, Pittsburgh Penguins.
Wow, that's my fault.
I was really thinking that they were on the down, and Pittsburgh was going to have a few years like Washington did of rebuilding.
Yeah.
Well, Sid the Kid and Gino wanted to put me in check because these guys have been playing well. They have other players, obviously, that have contributed, but those are the 2 that you obviously keep your eye on when you're talking about this team. They've gotten some decent goaltending. Yeah. NHL All-Star Yari coming in this season. I don't think he's a Stanley Cup #1 goaltender.
Right.
Like we were talking about the way Freddie's playing this season, the way Bob has been playing. But if you have a really good team in front of you, the goalie doesn't always have to do everything kind of deal. He doesn't have to steal you a game if you have a great defensive core. Gotta love Letang back there and stuff like that. And then the New York Rangers in third.
Can't sleep on New York, man. They're a force to be reckoned with.
I really like. If it's not this year, it's within the next 2 to 3. If they keep going the way they're going, they're winning a cup soon. This team is scary. They have youth. They have. It's so wild. It's like they pick a night, and whose night is Kreider going to be the guy?
Yep.
Is Zibanejad going to be the guy? Oh no, it's all right. It's going to be Panarin.
Yeah.
It's going to be Capo Caco. It's so much talent over there. They still got the young stud Lafreniere. They got Miller over there in D. Adam Fox.
Yep.
Johnny the Norris winner over there. So the Rangers are the real deal, and they're goaltending.
Yeah, Shesterkin's having a season. Georgiev could be a little bit better, I think.
They're thinking about maybe trying to move him.
I mean, look, you got Kincaid over there as well. He's only played 1 game, but I mean, Shesterkin's definitely going to be their go-to guy. Georgiev could be on the trading block. I don't know what you're going to get for him, but they could definitely, if they solidified a solid backup for Shesterkin, could be a different New York Rangers team.
Yeah, Chris Kreider up there in the goals this year, trying to make a run for the Rocket as well. And I think it's fair to say, even prior to this season, I would have said this, the type of personality he brings on and off the ice and every night, the guy deserves a C. You guys need a captain. You Ranger fans need a captain. I think Kreider's your guy.
Yeah, I agree. I can't agree more. And that's going to take that team to the next level. Just not having the C is weird. It's weird to me. It's weird. You can have that. You can have the A's, but you got to have that. You got to have that team leader, the guy who riles up the boys.
And then you got college, who's really got 2 C's.
Yeah,
it's so weird to see the Rangers without one, but you got to think that Drury over there, Chris Drury, is planning on putting a C on somebody's chest soon.
Definitely, man. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting closeout to the season. Playoffs are going to be absolutely wild this year. Can't wait to get there. Still enjoying plenty of time left in this season. Hopefully, as we talked before, the Caps can get some things lined up. And man, I'm telling you, Florida's my team right now. Not my team, but Florida's, I think, my #1. You're talking Carolina. That would be a crazy 7-game series. I can't imagine. But yeah, man, it's going to be coming. I think it's going to come down to the wire. There's a lot of teams that are worthy this year. A lot of teams that are worthy.
I think we got like 50 games left or something like that. I'm not really too sure on exactly what the game count is. It feels like playoffs are right around the corner, but we still got a little time. We got trade deadline here. But this is the time now where teams really need to start turning it on. You want to be hot. You want to be in stride, on a streak going into the playoffs. We've seen a lot of teams that have gone far in the playoffs. The few weeks before leading into the playoffs, they're on a winning streak. They got a 4 or 5 game winning streak. Their players are playing at their best. So if any team that's on that bubble line want to make it, now's the time to switch gears and really turn it up.
Absolutely. I can't agree more. Let me tell you, that was, man, I'm loving being in studio with you. This is fantastic. This is fantastic.
It has. You went by, right?
It flew by. Yeah, and I'm like watching the clock. I'm like, man, we got to wrap this. Unfortunately, we had to keep this one a little short. But again, thank you for joining us for another episode over here at Men Behind the Mitts. Be sure to check out the YouTube channel, the TikTok, the Instagram. The Instagram has been lit lately, man. We got a lot of stuff going on over there. More content coming at you. More changes in here coming. This is for throwing this together this afternoon. Not fucking bad, bud.
Not bad at all. Yeah, we're constantly evolving our YouTube game. It just started not this year, but this hockey season essentially. Sure. So we're looking to grow that. The TikTok is a major game changer, and we appreciate everybody that's here week in, week out. Sorry we missed you last week.
Yeah.
But hopefully you understand that it's for the best, and we promise to bring you guys more quality content week in and week out.
Definitely, man. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to the changes we're making. Getting some more on ice content, some on roller. Here in the street, we got some stuff coming together.
Blood gang.
Yeah, we're putting it together. It's gonna be a good time. But yeah, man, I'm so happy we're able to do this. I'm happy we're able to carve out time to make this happen, dude. I'm excited to see where we go next. I really am, dude.
Yeah. It's unlimited possibilities with us.
I can't agree more.
All right, guys. Well, until next time.
Be well. Cool, bro. Yeah, we did it.
We did it.
The boys from Men Behind the Mitts just want to say thanks for listening. And as always, be sure to follow us on all your favorite social media outlets at Men Behind the Mitts. Brought to you by Silky Mitts Hockey Club. Support the boys at silkymittshc.com.